most amazing artists. Oh my goodness, I have missed you guys so much. I hope you had an amazing winter holiday. I'm so happy to be back though because I think we are ready to just start a new semester, a brand new year, off on the right foot by making some beautiful artwork. All right, before the Christmas break, we started a project called Faith Ringgold Story Quilts. And after we learned a little bit about Faith Ringgold, we drew our own story quilt. But for our stories, we are telling one of our favorite memories and us flying over that memory, just like Cassie flies over her wildest dreams in Faith Ringgold's children's book called Tar Beach. You should have read that story or listened to it by now, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this week, to continue this project, we are going to glue your drawing to a piece of paper that is bigger than your drawing. And we'll get to that in just a moment. All right, that's a lot of talking, and I haven't even said our class mantra yet, so let's go ahead and say that before we get started for today. Let's see if you remember it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. My mantra: I am positive, I am creative, I am mindful, I am amazing, I am an artist. All right, did you get it right? I know you did. You're awesome. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So like I said, our goal today is to glue your drawing to a larger piece of paper. All right, this week's step for our project is pretty simple. So next week we can be ready for something a little bit more challenging. All right, so let's look at Faith Ringgold herself. Here she is. Remember her beautiful face? One of her quilts is behind her. She was born in 1930. She was raised in Harlem, New York. This is where she began her artistic career as a painter, and she is best known for her story quilts. Here's one of her story quilts that we've looked at before. And we've discussed how Faith uses a lot of elements of art. She uses color, lines, shape, texture, form, almost everything, space even. And we have been putting all of those elements into our artwork. All right, and as we discussed last time, this book, Tar Beach, is actually on this quilt as well. This little triangle right here, right in the foreground of our picture, is Tar Beach. And I believe this says Cassie and her younger brother, BB. All right, they talk about him a little bit in this story as well. All right, that was a good review. Now let's go ahead and get started on our artwork. All right, so you just need a couple of things today. You're going to need your colored drawing of your memory. All right, hopefully you still have this nice and safe and sound and ready to be used today. The first thing that you're going to want to do is, if you have any construction paper, you need a few different colors to choose from, okay? So not all of us use the same colors. My main color in here was like a pink color. So maybe I want my background to be pink, okay? Because whatever color we choose is going to be the background of our quilt, all right? Because we are making a quilt just like Faith Ringgold does. And usually quilts have some sort of border on them made out of squares of different fabric. And that's what we're going to do next time. But the first step to get this done is gluing our drawing to a bigger piece of paper. All right? And I want you guys to just hold up your drawing to each color that you have and see which one you like best, okay? I kind of like the green one actually, but let's see how the other ones look. Yellow is okay. No to orange. No to red. Yeah, so you're just gonna want to look and see what goes well with your drawing. If you only have one color of construction paper, that's totally fine. If you don't have construction paper at all, you can just use a white piece of paper and color it whatever color you want to. All right, so I think I'm gonna choose green because it kind of balances out my pink a little bit, and plus I have a green dress on, so it looks nice with the rest of my picture. All right, before we actually glue our drawing to our quilt background, what I want you to do is I actually, in Sharpie or marker or a black crayon would work as well. Maybe you want to use a pencil. I'm going to choose a Sharpie because it shows up a lot better. Okay, and you're just going to write your memory right up here at the top. So my memory is going to be called Meeting Beans. It's a little bit hard to see, but you can still kind of read it. All right, but we just want to write our memory. It's not even a full sentence, just basically what it is. Meeting themes. Okay, and down, so I did that on the top left corner, just a couple words describing what my drawing is. Meeting themes up in the top left side of my paper. Now at the bottom right side of my paper, I'm just going to put my name nice and neat. All right, and that'll help us because we are going to be gluing this drawing onto this new piece of paper, and as you can see, my name is on the back of my drawing, so once I glue it down, nobody's going to see my name anymore, okay? So we just want to make sure that our name is down here, not very big, just pretty small, on the bottom right-hand corner of my drawing, okay? Then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to use my glue. This is just regular white glue inside of a little plastic cup and a glue brush. This is a cheap old paintbrush that I got from the Dollar Tree. I like using this method of gluing because it's a lot easier to control where I put my glue. It's a lot less messy, and it helps me be reassured that every single edge is being glued down nice and neatly. And what I'm going to do is very carefully and nice and neatly, I am going to take my glue, but you know what? This is way too much glue, isn't it? That's a big old glob of glue. If I get too much glue on my glue brush, you guys remember what we can do? Drip, drip, wipe it on the lip. All right, drip, drip, wipe it on the lip. You see all that extra glue that was just on my paintbrush? Yeah, we don't need that much. So if you accidentally get too much glue, drip, drip, wipe it on the lip or the top edge of our cup. Okay? Are you gonna wipe it on your lips, on your face? No, ew, that would be so nasty. We're just gonna drip, drip, wipe it on the lip of your little plastic cup. Okay? But if you have a nice amount, we are just gonna go all the way around the edges with our glue, just like this. Dot, dot, not a lot. Dot, dot, not a lot. Dot, dot, not a lot. All the way around the edge. We're just going to put glue on the edge of our paper because we don't need it in the middle. If we have glue on the edge, then we know our paper is going to stay still, all right? If we put glue in the middle, that's just kind of a waste of glue. Okay, dot, dot, not a lot. That reminds us to just do little dots all the way around the edge of my paper. And when I say not a lot, what do you think that means? Not a lot of glue. Going a little bit fast because I don't want these glue dots up here to dry before I finish. So I'm just going, tapping my paper along the edge, dot, dot, not a lot, all the way around my paper. And if I get too much glue, drip, drip, wipe it on the lip. All right, and that, I'm almost done now. Need 2 dots all the way around the edge. Okay, so I just finished adding my little dots. All right, they're a little bit messy, but it's okay. They don't have to be perfect as long as they don't dry before you get all the way around the edge of your drawing. Now, carefully, I'm going to flip it over and holding it by the edges of my paper, just the tippy tops, so I don't get glue on my fingers. I'm going to do my best to line it up with the middle. Since we're using a liquid glue, we can kind of move it around where we need it to go, but we don't want to move it too much and get big old glue smears on our paper. So I'm just carefully pressing it down, and I've tried my best to line it up in the middle. You can tell if it's in the middle if these corners, the top corners and the bottom corners, line up with each other, okay? We don't want it to be crooked or anything. Try your best to make it nice and neat and straight, okay? And since I used white glue, I can kind of move it around just a little bit. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm actually going to massage that glue down. So I am confident that every single edge of my drawing is stuck to my background. And I'm going to flip it over. And just to make sure, I want to do the wiggle test. So I'm going to flip my paper over and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then if I flip it back over and no edges are coming up, then I'm good to go. If an edge does come up, you're just going to take a little bit more glue. And I notice this edge over here is coming up a little bit. Take a little bit more glue and press it down again. All right. If you use too much glue, then your glue is going to squish out of the sides and it's going to be really sticky and messy, and we do not want that. Okay. Now, I know we put our name down here, but just for extra security, I want you to flip your paper, your whole piece of paper, and on the back of your quilt background, go ahead and write your name again, just to make sure that everybody knows this is mine. And if you're in my face-to-face class, you can also put your class code on the back as well. All right? So that's all we're going to do today, guys. Next week, I want to give you a heads up. I'm going to be using this patterned paper that I just found at Hobby Lobby that was on sale, and I just cut it into strips. And next week, we're going to use that to make the fabric squares that will make the border of our quilt, okay? So if you don't have any patterned paper, you have all week to go and get some. But if you aren't able to go get some, that's okay. You can just use regular colored paper, or you could even draw your own designs on a piece of paper and use that instead. All right, so that's just a little heads up for next week on what materials I'm going to be using. All right, I know this step was really easy this week, but like I said earlier, I just wanted us to ease into the year and do something pretty easy. So we're just going to glue this down onto a bigger piece of paper, and that's pretty much it. All right, I hope you guys still have a lot of fun doing this, even though it's pretty easy. Next week, we're going to bring it all together using these different patterned pieces of paper to create the quilt border for our artwork. All right, I can't wait to see how yours is turning out. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.